my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and I'm joined with Mark Oilroyd from Suddenly Comics. And we're the price variants, and we're also going to give you the hottest Silver Age comics of the week. There's a theme this week, another theme. I always like to have my themes. It's a thing. This week's theme, I'm not sure. Can you guess, Mark? You looked at the list.
Well, they're all the usual suspects. They're all big books.
All the big boy books. This is the big boy list. I like to do this once in a while where I just only pick the big boy books and just sort of see like how are they doing? It's 2025, you know, if that makes any difference to the market. Oh, it's 2025. Well, the year's changed. Now the market has to change. So I'm just curious how these books performed. It's a new year. Let's see if they're doing well. That's basically the idea.
Right. Off we go then.
Okay. So
Uh,
yeah.
the first one. Here we go.
So this is a pretty major book. This is the reason it's on the list. First appearance of the Justice League of America. First cover appearance of Aquaman and Martian Manhunter
And Starro.
and Starro, and it's his first appearance too.
It is.
So cover he gets to be on the cover, and it's his first appearance, which makes it extra special. It's kind of an interesting one that they chose to do this in Brave and the Bold. I
Well,
always see Brave and the Bold
it
as a Batman
wasn't.
title.
No.
I mean, I that's
It
the way I
wasn't. It
think of
wasn't
it.
a Batman title at all.
Until much later, it was pretty much a Batman title.
At this stage, it was exactly this. It was for trying out different,
I know, different thingies. It's
ideas.
sort of like Showcase.
Yeah, we had Cave Carson, we had Strange Sports, we had the Knight, right, Alan,
The Shining Knight and all those
Shining
ones.
Knight, and Robin Hood. So no,
Mhm.
this was exactly the type of thing that would appear in Brave and the Bold.
I know, but you know why? You know why I see it as a Batman title is
Why?
when I got into like non-cartoon comics. It was like in the 90s, like late 80s, 90s, right?
Yeah,
And by that point, it had become a Batman title.
yes, absolutely. I think around issue 57, Batman team up start. And from there
Hmm.
until the end of Brave and the Bold, which is issue 200, so for roughly three-quarters of its run,
Hmm.
it was a Batman title.
Yeah.
But for the first 50 issues or so, it wasn't.
Yes, I know that, but I'm just saying. I'm looking at it from my perspective.
Okay, from
Um,
your perspective, it's a Batman title.
yes,
Yes.
I
Okay.
retroly actively apply it. Okay,
From a
so
Brave and
yeah,
the Bold collector, which I am, it wasn't a Batman title until at least 25 to 30% of the way through.
yeah. So by the way, do you have this book in your collection?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and so uh, you have the complete run now, or you're still missing one or
I have
two
got
issues?
four missing, Alan.
I knew you were pretty close. I was just
Yeah.
wondering.
I'm missing issues 4, 9, 17, and 19, I think.
Okay, so 4, 9,
15,
17,
17, I think. 15 and 17.
15, and 17. So if people have those books, send them to Mark.
Yeah.
And I think those aren't actually even keys. They're just hard books
No,
to
no, they're not
find, right?
keys. No, they're not keys. They're just around this sort of, these are really low. There's very few of them. So, if you
Hmm.
look at issue 4 or 7, for instance, there's probably 30 total graded issues.
Hmm.
I want at least a 4 or 4, 5. Uh,
Okay.
I am happy to have a raw as long as it's, in that sort of range, and I'll get it
Hmm.
graded. So yeah, 4 to get. After
Not too bad.
I've only been collecting them 50 years, Alan.
Well, that's not too bad. One a year, or two. How many in Brave and the Bold? Like a couple hundred?
200, 200.
Yeah. Okay. So that's four a year. That's
Yeah,
not too bad.
yeah,
And this is another year, so you'll get four more.
yeah. I got two last year, which
Okay.
I got them raw and I showed them on my channel. I just had them graded. Uh,
Okay, nice.
so I got number 12, which I got through you actually, Alan. I don't
Oh,
know if
really?
yeah, I don't know if you remember. I think it was Joe Berger was at a comic convention somewhere, and
Oh, yes. And
he
he was yeah, yeah, yeah.
he knew I was after these, but he didn't know how to contact me. So he
And
contacted,
I set you guys up. Yeah.
and you put us in touch. And Joe said, "Look, there's the Brave and the Bold 12 here for sale for $150, but I think I can get it for 100." And I said to Joe, "Yeah, that is one of the ones that I want." He bought it for $100. I paid him
Mhm.
for it. He sent it to me. It was sold as a 4.0.
Mhm.
I pressed it and cleaned it. It came back a 5.5. So
Nice.
very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
It's the 18th highest graded copy in existence.
Wow. That's pretty cool. That's no, that's good. I'm glad, I'm glad I helped in some small way.
Well,
That's awesome.
it was the comic community acting as one there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would never have got that copy without knowing you and without linking through.
Well, that's what I like about the comic community. We help each other out. We're sort of each other like the comic community like it's sort of like having all these kind of people out there that are just looking for you for things and it's really cool.
Yeah, and the other one I found at the London Comic Mart. It was raw, and it was for sale as a 3.0. I bought it. I think I paid £50 for it, about $60-70. And it was a bit, I thought, had a lot of color rub on it. Thought this is probably
Okay.
below my stat. Anyway, I cleaned and pressed it, came back a 5. So
Nice.
I know. So I was very pleased with
Maybe
that.
you're really good at cleaning and pressing.
Maybe, yeah, well, I think they're a bit more generous on older books than they are on newer books. But anyway,
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Especially in the golden age, they really are gentle. So
yeah.
we've gone totally off topic. How about we how about we
Well,
look at
I
the
was talking
book?
about Brave and the Bold. That's not completely off topic.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true.
Shall we see how this is doing financially, Alan?
Yes, yes.
Right. So
So
this sold
2880
28.80 for a 3.5. Sounds
seems a little low to me, just because I remember them being pretty expensive.
it's
But
about where it's sort of this is
it's
flat.
it, it's been flat for a long time. There's no COVID spike or anything interesting.
Yeah, mini minor COVID spike, maybe.
Yeah.
It
So
seems to
what?
be hovering around this $3,000 mark.
Okay, so this is a little bit under the $3,000 mark. The
Yeah.
FMV is what? 20.
288. That's what the last one sold for.
Oh, so it's just whatever the sale is, that's the FMV. Okay. Um, so yeah, so I don't know. It'll probably get to that 3,000 mark, would be my guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a key comic. If we get a DC revival, which we might, this will pick up.
Yeah. So just okay. Um, but yeah, this is one of those ones where I think it could do well if the Superman movie ever gets out. I heard that there's a lawsuit now with it. So
I didn't hear about.
yeah. So hopefully if it comes out, then it would be like they would set up the different characters again. I think they have to reinvent, introduce all the characters again with whoever's the new person playing them,
Right.
right? So they'd have to reintroduce Superman. They'd probably have to reintroduce Wonder Woman, which would be sad. I really liked what's her name. Um, but yeah, um, I think the
Okay.
potential for this book is quite high.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Um,
it's a big key.
so uh,
The other thing I always think about this, Alan, is this is actually the basis of Fantastic Four 1. You've got a team of superheroes fighting a large monster on a
on
cup.
the cover, yeah.
You
It's
know,
a different thing though. It is a different dynamic. Fantastic Four one that it's a family. They set it up as a family. This is
yes,
more
yes,
of a
yes, yes,
major team.
yes. Yeah, but
Um,
it's a team on the cover fighting a large monster.
Yeah, it looks like it's coming out of the ground a little bit, even though it isn't in this case.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the placement of the characters is very similar.
Yes. And this was a year earlier.
Yeah. So that's what a DC person would say. A Marvel person would say, not, there's no similarity. So what's the census on this one?
Uh, yeah, because Jack and Stan never copied anything. I mean,
No, never.
last week we saw the theoretical precursor to Doom issued the same month as the first appearance of Doom.
Yeah, actually, it was that Steven got mad at me for the fact that I didn't chase after you a little harder on that. The release date was the same day.
Same day. Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
So
Steve told me that as well. Yeah.
yeah. So it was actually the same day. So it was a prototype because, probably the story was written before and got released the same day. So yeah. Okay.
Right.
So what's the census on it?
Census
I was,
is, I think it's about 1.5 to 2. Let's have a
that's
look.
what I always thought too. Yeah.
Um,
It's a low census though for silver.
yeah, 1/6.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was around that mark. Okay. So cool. What's number two on the list?
Number 2 on the list. Oh,
This is one of those big keys, but it's like I really don't like the cover. I never liked the cover of this book. It's
yeah.
first like Strange Tales 110, first appearance of Doctor Strange with a Paste Pot Pete cover that is not a good cover. It is just I really I I like Human Torch and stuff, but it's got this weird mirror thing and he's like kind of whack
Doesn't that remind you a bit of Amazing Spider-Man one, where Spider-Man is in the sort of
in sort of the case.
yeah.
Yeah, different. Like this is a different angle of that, I guess.
Uh,
But man, this is I never liked this cover. I think a lot of people agree with me. That's why this book isn't worth more than it is.
um,
Um,
I mean, dear oh dear.
I almost feel like what were they thinking? Like I really do because but when Doctor Strange was created, they really didn't know. Like he was just like a backup feature, right? He wasn't like he was going to be the key character. Um, but little did they know.
I
You
mean,
know,
Paste Pot Pete. I mean, look at him. He's got a glue gun attached to an empty bucket.
yeah,
Or has the bucket got a lid on? I don't know. But what happens
no, it looks like an empty
when
bucket.
his bucket runs out?
Then he's done. But at least he has that painter's hat and
Yeah,
the scarf.
I know. So at least he's got Jack Kirby to do a different type of hat.
Yeah, instead of the fedora.
Yeah.
It's, Kirby's really, pushing himself on this one.
Right. Enough of that. Right. 3,120 for a 6.
Hmm.
Slightly above FMV. It's down here somewhere. I mean, it's hovering again. It's a bit like the last one. It's hovering around 3,000.
Yeah, I mean this one, I'd say it's kind of hovering where it was before COVID, right?
It is, yes. It's a bit above. I know it. No, it's a yeah. It is exactly where it was before COVID.
Yeah. So
There's
I
the
think
May 2020, and it was 3-1. Yeah,
I think these books are all finding their floor. Like it took a few years to do, but I think they found their floor. And
yeah,
now the good thing about once they find their floor is they can move up from that floor.
yeah,
So, the trend on this one is looking like it's kind of
yeah.
continuing down, but
I think it's sticking around its pre-COVID level. I
yeah,
don't think it's going to fall a lot lower than that.
yeah. So what's the census on this comparatively? I just like to see the
Will it be
comparison.
more? Will it be more? Yes, because it's
I'd say go 3,000 or so.
yeah, 2.5. Yeah,
Yeah, 2.5. Um, yeah, and that's a lot actually, considering this is an ugly cover. Sorry, but I don't like the cover. Um, and it's sort of mid-run. It's like it's not one that people would have picked up thinking that there's a major key character in it.
No, but it doesn't say anything about Doctor Strange on the cover.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Our third comic is another classic. It is
Hmm.
um, Journey into Mystery, number 83, the first appearance of the god Thor.
Yeah. And this is actually a class. This is the opposite of the previous one. This is a great cover. Um, I really like this one. And you have your first appearance end with you know, the character on the cover. I think that's like the ultimate best thing.
This one is a Penn's copy, Alan.
This is the Pence copy. And so that we know what that does to the price. It's usually about 30% less.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a low grade.
It,
And it's a bit faded as well. If you look at the into.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, so there's a bunch of things. It probably has water damage, would be my guess. It looks like water damage based on the into and the approved comic code thing.
Mm, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right.
So yes, this is a low grade copy, key book. But how did it perform?
Well, 3,000. Let's have a look. Now I'm not sure it's got so it's low is basically is what I'm saying because it hasn't put it on the graph. So this is because it's a UK price variant.
We can probably look up the UK price variant and compare
I'm
it.
sure not every
Okay, wait, first let's look at the American price variant first.
no
Yeah,
it
I see it right there in the middle.
does have. So
Wait. Let's look
the
at the
American
US one
one is
first.
the American one is 3.5, Alan.
3,500?
Yeah, this one is 3,000. So it is about 20, 30.
No, that's only like 10, 15% lower. So that's a good sale then.
3.5.
No sales. Oh my goodness, we got a record. No, it's not a 3.5, it's a 1.5.
Oh, sorry, it was a 1.5, wasn't it? Yeah. There it is. It's a record. You've done it again, Alan. You've managed to get a Go Collect whack. It's the first one ever sold.
Cool click whack. So this is a massive record. You got to say it the proper way. It's like, wow, the market is changed. The big boy books are showing huge
And
climbs.
the UK price variance is only 10% lower than the American one.
I actually see that as a big sale personally, because as I said, usually they're about 30% less.
Yeah.
So this is a good sale for this book.
Yeah. Well, the Amazing Fantasy 15 last week was only 15% lower as well.
Okay, so maybe the UK's are getting a little bit more love because it used to be always like 30% less. It was kind of sad actually.
Well, maybe people are listening to Logic. I don't know.
Yeah, well maybe they just think, okay, yeah, it's a price variant, but it's still a cool book.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's the census on this? Like
What for?
two?
No,
What?
it won't be very many. Um,
Uh
44.
44. I mean, just come on, people. It's just like such a low census count. Um Yeah, I know people really
The
hate the price
American
fair,
one
the
is the American's 44 compared to
like 5,000 or something insane.
well, it's going to be 3 or 4, isn't it, at least?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not.
No,
It's two
no, it's not as
five.
bad as okay. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Um,
But
Usually it's like 100th or 50th, 50 to 100th kind of range.
50 and 100. So this one's
Yeah.
25, isn't it? So it's between 50 and 100 as a general rule of thumb.
Yeah. Okay, so that's interesting. So I think this was a strong sale still. I'm going to say that that was a strong sale. It's a record sale. We're proving that the market is recovering by one comic. I don't know.
Alan is always the first person to spot the first daffodil out. He's convinced it's spring. Right.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay. This is a cracker comic. And look, it's got a custom label on it as well, I
I
think.
noticed that. Yeah, we got the custom label. Is the custom label even relevant?
I
Like,
don't,
I
it's
always
not,
find that people get these irrelevant custom
I,
labels.
oh, what is it? Fantast selling Superman the film. No, it's not a relevant label.
See, I think they just try to find something DC because like there's not that many custom labels you can choose from.
Well, and they don't all stay around either. So I just had a Fantastic Four grade, and it had a nice Fantastic Four custom label. So it looks really good when you get the
Mhm.
actual match between the label and the.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't do it unless it's a match.
Yeah, but I guess somebody just wanted to have like a cool custom label, but it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly sure why. I mean, we haven't even got Superman on the cover.
Yeah.
You know, if
Oh,
it.
he is on the cover. He's one of the chess pieces.
Oh yes, there he is. Okay, you're right. He is on. Well, he's there as a chess piece. Oh, he's been
Yeah,
turned into a chess piece, hasn't he?
he's been turned into a chess piece.
By this guy whose name I can never remember.
Despero
Despero, that's it. Right. Okay.
7-0. Nice high solid grade for this book.
4,000, which is criminally under. I mean, I think it's probably about fair value, but
Yeah.
considering how key this is,
Yeah.
yeah. So 4,000. Yes, that one it is on the graph. So, oh dear, it's just about. It's still more than pre-COVID.
Yeah, it's about 700 up from its pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Um, it's like 20%.
I know, but it is $700 down on the previous sale.
I know. Yeah, I mean, I this one doesn't sell that often in this kind of grade, I don't think. And if
Not
you look
really.
at the
But
gap,
it sold twice in last year. It sold once in 2024.
yeah, so
Once
that's
in
my point.
2020. You said it sells once a year.
Yeah, so if you compare like the ones we were looking at before, they have like frequent sales, so the price correction can kind of happen much rapider.
Well,
Like
what
it
we looked
just
at before, it only ever sold once.
well, okay. I'm talking about most of the Marvel stuff where it's not a UK price variant. Yeah, you'll see them kind of sell quickly, and then they kind of correct quickly as a result. These ones that you don't see that often, you don't have that deep market understanding.
No,
Um,
correct.
but yeah, so this is the first Justice League, in their own title.
Yeah,
Um, and there's only 17, almost 1800 on the
that's
census.
right.
It's
Yeah,
it's a pretty low census count.
census. Yeah, yeah. I'd quite like to get hold of this one. I do collect.
Yeah.
Do collect Justice League. I've got quite a lot of one to 100, but I haven't got one.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a bad one to pick up because probably you can still get it fairly affordably. It's not like, it's
Yeah,
not,
it's not like X-Men one.
yeah. And overall, the market trend isn't really that positive on it. It's a pretty flat book.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, if I come in if I have a nice little windfall of money, Alan, this could be one of my target books.
That would be a good target. I think it's a cool book.
Right, okay, let's move on. Here we go. Iron Man #1, big premiere issue, Alan.
I love the big premiere issues. I made it a point to collect them all and got them.
There you go.
There's a bunch of them too.
There is.
Um, so yeah, this is like a great Iron Man cover too.
It's so-so. The colors are good. The actual
I
artwork.
don't know. I think he has that kind of like struggle kind of looks to the way his body is. I think it's actually not a bad cover. Yeah.
I think it's a 6 or 7 out of 10 on it. It's not.
Okay, I give it slightly higher, but not much. But
Okay.
so yeah, so 4,000. Um,
Well, look at the grade though.
I know it's a really high grade. Yeah. I think this has dropped a lot, but the character has been killed off.
Yeah.
And this one actually suffers from what you like. I hate when Heritage does this in a way. When they sell a big book and they have two copies, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
that always hurts the value.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Um,
Um,
that's yeah.
well,
Unfortunately,
look at that spike.
I
What
know,
was that?
Alan. That's not the but this graph hasn't been updated, so it hasn't got the that 4,000 is the lowest sale price for quite a bit.
Oh
Uh,
well, actually no, it looked like the previous one was 4,000.
no, that's this one. It hasn't been
Okay, and what was the previous before that? 4,600?
4,7, 4,6, yeah.
Wow. So this has dropped even more. I mean, what's that spike? How big of a spike? How much was this book worth at one point?
Uh, you don't. Poor somebody, $17,000.
Ow. Wow, that's so brutal. You could have bought this book and all the other books on this list so far for that.
Very much so.
That is so sad.
I hope the
Oh
person
well.
who bought that at $17,000 isn't sat with it sitting there in their collection still 3 years later, having a lot,
Yeah.
having a
It'll
lot.
recover. It'll recover.
Not in my lifetime, it won't.
My grandchildren will appreciate it. Um, so wow, that's kind of sad. But I always see that those spikes as being the potential for all these books. You know, like if somebody was willing to pay for that in the past, they could pay for it again in the future. You know,
Hmm.
you
Okay.
never know. There is potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is still going down. Has not found its floor. Actually, there was a $3,800
Back
sale.
here. All right. This one down here somewhere. Yeah. Oh
So
no.
I would say this is a $4,000 book
Yeah,
based
I
on,
agree. I think this is hovering around 4,000.
yeah. So it's probably right on the floor on this one, on this sale.
It's still higher than pre-COVID.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's $1,000 higher than pre-COVID.
You know, all we have to do is recreate the conditions of COVID and we can get all our books to go up in value again.
I'll leave that up to you, Alan. Have you got any
I
monkeys?
just got a cough. Wait. Okay, there. So yeah. Oh well. So not looking too great for these big boy books.
Except for the UK price variance. Those are the ones
We
you.
did have one record. The rest, I would say, are on the floor, I guess, would be the
Well,
way to describe it.
but they're not dropping. They're still hovering around the sort of pre-COVID.
Yeah, it's sort of that steady state.
Yeah.
Um, so that's, I guess, good. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. I'm trying to be positive here. It's a positive channel. Is will recover. No. Um,
Mm,
but we do have a bright spot in the UK to kind of look at and say, hey, look, huge record, infinitely higher than the previous sale. Um, so yeah, and speaking of the UK, if you go over to Mark's channel in the UK, you can see the top five on this list, and they're big books. They're ones that we've seen before, but they are the biggest
yeah,
books.
and there's no
And
prizes for guessing the number one.
definitely no prizes for that because everyone's going to guess it. But it's cool to see how it performed. Actually, I'll give you one little thing about the one that is number one. I actually guessed at a value because somebody wanted to buy it and they asked my opinion about it. I guessed below what it sold for.
Yeah, well, I would have done too, but you have to wait and see that on my channel.
So yeah, go over to Mark's channel, find out what it sold for. So yeah, bye for now, everyone.
Bye.